vote tonight.
You know I'm part of them.
I went over it a couple times. Last week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the City of Benton Harbor Commission meeting to order. I'd like to begin with the invocation by Mayor Pro Tem Dwayne Seats, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, City Manager Alex Little. All rise.
Gracious God, our Father, we thank you today for your loving kindness, your tender mercy. Thank you that you brought us all here safely today. Give us wisdom, understanding, knowledge, what to do what's best for this city, to move this city forward. Look on our city, God. We need you today to be God in the midst of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yield to the city clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Present.
Commissioner Henderson.
Present.
Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Isom.
Present.
Commissioner Kennard.
Present.
Commissioner Singleton. Commissioner Warren.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Present.
Mayor Mohammed.
Present.
We have a quorum.
This brings us to the approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion is made by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. It is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to approval of accounts payable listings. Is there a motion for the approval? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
No.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard.
No.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
No.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Just a few housekeeping rules. Please mute or power your cell phones off during the meeting. Thank you. This brings us to citizens' comments. Please register with the city clerk, and she will call you accordingly.
We wanted to start a family more than.
Jerry Edwards.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone here. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, and Administrators. Just here to say briefly, thank everyone for the hard work that we all have done for the moving forward with the Hall Park project. And just like to say, I know some of us, I'm not going to give anybody's age away, but especially mine, it was, I remember when they first asked me about the park, I told them, to me, it was Benton Harbor's resident daycare center. And I explained it to him. I said, because I can remember when my mother and father had to go to work and we was out of school, a lot of times they would drop me off down here to somebody I would know. A lot of times it was the Tuggles or the Sterlings, Cornelius, and we'd be there. We'd be safe. And it would be just as many adults as it was kids down there. So to see that come back is, and I know to all of us, speak for all of us that had that experience, to see that come back and the problems that can be solved with that. And that's in particular not aiming at anyone, but for adults and for our youth. Because it's the needs of the new release since COVID has shut down. We have to be more creative. We done created new family, new friends, new churches, new everything, new ways we live, who we shake hands with, where we wear masks to, and to have an open, beautiful space that is redone without a whole bunch of modifications that we don't understand, that has no history with that experience. It's a real relief. So I'd like to just thank everybody that had something to do with it. Thank you all.
Kevin Whiteford.
Thank you guys for having me here today. I am Kevin Whiteford. I'm losing my voice because I've talked to too many people. I just wanted to come today to the board, and I want to just reach out to you guys as much as I can. One of the things you're going to find out in my brochures, and I gave each one of you guys one, is my cell number. I'm going to have my cell number in your hands, and whenever you have a question, when I do win on November 5th, I am running for the State House representative job in the 38th District, and that is that district that runs from Saugatuck Township all the way down to New Buffalo. And once I win on November 5th, I will be an advocate for you guys when I'm in office. Who am I? I am a CPA. I'm a financial advisor. I have a lot of experience. I've worked in 50 states and 33 countries, done their taxes. Where did I grow up? I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My dad was a bricklayer. He worked his butt off. But I just happened to grow up in a household. There was 4 other brothers and sisters. My 2 older brothers were a mess. So I am a history story of a village raised as a child. My advocates were 3 priests, 3 Catholic priests, and a basketball coach. I got all my experience from that, and all, you know, I always tell kids all the time, you've got to say, and you got to do the right thing, and you got to work hard and get to where you're at. What did I get out of that? Well, I got a college degree, and that college degree was an accounting degree, and I had a master's in tax law. One of the things I could talk to you guys about today is I have walked your streets. I've talked to your people. I've listened to their voices. I've met thousands of people in Benton Harbor. One thing that I can say, I am overly impressed by the people that live here. I will fight for your people. I will fight for you. And I know people say that all the time, but one of the proofs in the pudding is I have worked with Democrats and Republicans my entire life. I think when I get to Lansing, the D's and the R's will come off. I will work on both aisles like no person you've ever seen in your life. And I'm excited about that too, by the way. Now, because of that, if you know my history at all, you will see people on the right-hand side and the left-hand side fight because I don't need the job and I don't need the money, and I'm going to do it. So I just wanted to tell you guys face-to-face that I am here for you. I'm here for your community. And when they do ask, and when you do ask, I will listen, and I will answer my phone. So all I can tell you is that I would love to have your vote on November 5th. Kevin Whiteford for your state rep, and thank you very much for your time.
Denny Brown.
First, Kevin, I know Kevin, I played basketball with this guy, over 50 basketball league. He's a hustler. He's going to make it happen. I'm going to tell you that. All right, my name is Denny Brown. I live at 823 Levette, City of Benton Harbor. I just handed the clerk 2 additional FOIA requests asking concerning the Police Review Board. Because I came down here to put in an application to be on the Police Review Board, and I was told by her that it's not running yet. And that's been, I know in 2006 they tried to get it going, and here we are, whatever year now, it's still not going. So the other FOIA request I gave her was asking, when did you do your part? So since it's under the charter, did you file it to the governor You know what I'm saying? All charter amendments have to be sent to the governor with the filing date, approval, all of that. So I asked her to give me all of that to see, did that vote y'all go on the police review board? When did that happen? Because it's my contention that the police review board is illegal. They're supposed to have a civil service board, and because of the civil service board, it's people like Ron Singleton, Tim O'Brien, and others that's collecting money from the city of Ben Harbor illegally. Because without the civil service board, you can place yourself in different positions without nobody approval, without, checks and balances. City manager, Alex Little, I met with him earlier. I tried to meet with him earlier this week. I'm going to be trying to meet with him again officially. I'm going to try to meet with the city attorney officially, because it's my belief that anybody, that if a teacher sees a child come to school with a weapon on it, she's going to have to report it. If any citizen stand up here and report to you that you guys have been acting outside of the charter and our rights are being violated, you have to investigate it. And to me, I believe y'all came up with that police review board to shut people up, to pretend like you was putting a Band-Aid on something and doing it. So now, show me that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be giving News 22 a copy of my complaint. 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be coming to give you all of the evidence I've gathered to show that, it's illegal action to not have a civil service board. So when you do, you're going to be investigating me and giving me back my back pay. Too old, I don't want my job back, but I want my back pay money and everything, my honor that was taken from me because of your lack of action in your seats. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Margie Swift. Angela Berry.
Hello, my name is Angela Berry. I've been working with Benton Harbor for a long time now. I've stood by a lot. I've seen a lot. I'm one that speak up. I don't be quiet. Southwest Michigan over here. I ended up losing my job, and I just needed a little help. Anybody that really know me know I'm a hard worker, and every now and then somebody needs some help. I went over there to ask for some help. She gave me this little. She took a little test on. Asked me a few questions and told me I don't qualify. Just to get a little money. You know what I'm saying? Just to get help, to get a head start. And I want to know why. Because there's too much going on over there that's not being said. There's a lot going on with our children that's not being said. We got a lot of people who need houses. We got a lot of people who are homeless. These names, these titles, they mean nothing if you're not doing anything. You just here. You're wasting time. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing is just wasting time. We need people who are going to help our children, who's going to just do things. If anybody do you understand what I'm saying? Start holding people accountable. I backed up. I said I didn't even want to be involved because there's too much going on. But when I look at what still's going on, our children not being helped, people need homes. We need to help the homeless. Jesus was homeless. And look what he done for us. So don't think nothing about the homeless, okay? Not at all. I'm asking for help. I want to know, where do you go to get help when you need a place to live? Because we got a lot of people here, they got big time attitudes. But they can't do nothing. We need help. We don't need attitudes. We need some help. Thank you.
Mr. Duncan. No more comments.
I'd like to thank everyone for their comments. This brings us to the consent calendar. Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar, or are there items that should be separated?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion is made by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Is there a second?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Isom. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Henry.
Did you allow us to separate one?
The motion has been made and it has been seconded.
Okay. I vote no.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
No.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
I didn't hear where he asked for us to separate it. Did I miss something? We want to separate some items.
You asked if it could be separated.
And I know we had that right.
Yeah. Madam Clerk?
He did.
Said he did.
I didn't hear, well, no.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to staff comments. The Chair recognizes the Public Safety Director, McGinnis.
I know, right?
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Commissioners, public. Okay, well, one thing I have is, this is Fire Safety Week. What we have this week, all week, we have something going on in the fire department, fire safety. We were at, and this is a joint with also Benton Township, we were out at Home Depot on Saturday. I was there for about just an hour, and it had to have been probably 100 people that were there in and out. It's very, very successful. We'll be doing the same thing at Lowe's this Saturday between 12 and 4. We'll be in we'll be in 4 schools this week with activities, fire safety, touch truck, all those things going on. Like I'm forgetting something. Oh, smoke detectors. If you are a resident of City of Benton Harbor, actually, and that also a township, because they're all board also, you can get smoke detectors, and we can install them for you if, for whatever reason, you need that being done. We've always done that, and we will continue to do that. We have 1,000 new smoke detectors in, so we will come and do that for you. Just let us know. That is all that I have. Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the City Clerk, Clerk Moore.
Thank you. Absentee ballots have been sent out. They went out in the mail on Wednesday. We started receiving them back on Friday. 878 ballots were issued, and we have so far gotten 92 of those back in the last couple days, so they're coming back pretty quickly. If you have not received your absentee ballot, get a hold of our office so that we can send you an application to fill out to have those out and ready to be returned before the November 5th election.
Madam Clerk, for persons who want to come, say, to City Hall throughout the week to vote absentee, is that something that is offered?
They can, yep. You can come right to City Hall and request an absentee ballot and vote it right there and then hand it back to us. And we'll send it to our AV board on Election Day.
And what about those who may be not registered? Can they register and vote?
You can register all the way up through Election Day.
And vote the same day?
Vote the same day.
Right, thank you. Could you just talk a little bit about the 2 grants that was approved?
So the city was awarded a $10,000 grant from the Institute of Responsive Government for security. And what we want to do is we want to buy a couple new tabulators for the AV counting board. They'd be more secure, more faster, would help us speed that process along, especially having about 1,000 ballots to do in one day. The second one is $7,000 from the Voters Not Politicians Education Fund, and that is used for communication and public relations strictly related to the November 2024 election. So you'll be seeing signs throughout the city directing you on how to vote, where to go to vote, how to register to vote, how to obtain an absentee ballot. There'll be information about early voting on there. We'll partner with Voters Not Politicians for some direct mailers, possibly some events, and maybe even a billboard.
Thank you. Chair recognizes City Manager, Mr. Little.
Thank you, sir. Don't have a lot this evening. I do want to state, though, that the grace period is now over on removal of inappropriate items from the cemetery. We will be taking those things up that are left and disposing of them, as we indicated when we made the initial announcement. Anything still there after the October 31st, we would assume that people didn't want them. So we will be getting those things out of there and cleaned up. Other than that, a lot of things are going on positive in the city that we're looking forward to, and we'll be sharing more information as these things unfold.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Fourth Ward Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Good evening. Thank everybody for coming. And I missed that, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna have to replay that tape. The parking, paid parking, I am totally against that in the Fourth Ward. I am totally against it for downtown. I think it's gonna negatively affect the business owner down there. It's already limited parking. It's already, they having a hard time, customers finding parking. And now to be paid, and then what I read was so vague, it didn't say if it's gonna charge the resident also, or just the business customers, or what. So I am totally against that. As I spoke at the last meeting about raising the trash, I don't care if it's today or tomorrow. Our sewer been raised, the water been raised, property tax has been raised. Now you're gonna raise the taxes. They say, well, it's too amended, but if it's not gonna happen right now, then why is it even on there? Why wouldn't it come to us when it's gonna happen? So I'm totally against that. I'm totally, how are residents and small business gonna survive? Most of those businesses downtown are small business. They're not big corporations, and a lot of them is already suffering. So how is people supposed to survive? You give tax breaks to new businesses and big corporations, but then you sturdy raising stuff and putting a financial burden on the residents. I'm not with that. I'm totally against it. And then the cigar lounge with liquor license. Now a few years ago, before I even took my seat, they were saying it was too many, they didn't want any more liquor license. They didn't want to give out no more liquor license. But now, tonight you just got approved to give cigar with liquor license. Now last year, we passed a resolution to ban flavored cigars and tobacco product. Cigar is a tobacco product. And if you read, tobacco is worse on you than smoking. It is a cigar. Cigar is a roll of tobacco wrapped in leaf tobacco. It's more toxic than cigarette. It can cause mouth and throat cancer and other serious health conditions, even if you don't inhale it. It has a high level of cancer substance. It's equivalent to a pack of one unfiltered cigarette. No amount is safe. So if we're here to protect and serve, and we ban tobacco, flavored tobacco, why did we just pass cigars? Why did we just pass liquor license when they were saying they didn't want no more liquor store? Y'all pay attention. Pay attention. Stay woke. And speak up. Because it's going to be more. As you see, it's more on the residents. It's always more on the resident. And they're more concerned about who coming in, new business coming in, than who's right here that's been helping this city, been paying the bills, the residents, the businesses that are already here. Start coming. Pack this house. Speak up. Have a good night.
Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Kennard.
Yes. I've been really wrestling a lot. And sometimes I've asked myself if I'm dealing with reason and the votes outweigh my vote, but looking for the best interests of the community, why am I here? But I'm not going to leave my seat because I got 4 years here if the Lord delays His coming for me. And I plan to do everything that I can to help our residents We all stood right here in front of this seat after being out campaigning and telling people what we're gonna do, and we're gonna vote in their best interest. And it seems to me that they do what they wanna do once they get in these seats. We didn't put ourselves in these seats, the voters did. They're our bosses. And I agree with Commissioner Griffin, these particular ones on parking, and I was looking at, here on the other side here, was talking about approval for the cigar and all. These things here are very toxic. And before I even came on board, a lot of these issues were already addressed. And I totally agree that these things shouldn't be out. They got places that you can't even smoke inside, but sometime if you come in contact with that smoke, even a person outside, and a puff of that smoke hits you, you're inhaling it. Secondhand smoke is worse than actually smoking. I was once a smoker, and I'm glad that I did change from smoking because it's devastating. Right now, I have upper respiratory problems. So let's think and try to do the right thing for our residents. So many people don't want to be involved or around smokers, and they got open channels for drinking and everything downtown here. And I heard one gentleman, he was really frustrated with them allowing the liquor deal that they had just passed or tried to pass for open containers to walk the street with. So we've got to really think what is the best interest of our residents. We've got to stop it. And one other thing I want to also bring up, that since January, I've been asking for some directions as to what is happening with our Citizens Review Board. That was put in place years ago. And I was asked what was the rush, that they've got to make some changes. And I know that if we got to make some changes, it's got to come before the body here, the commission. So yes, it's been well past time for that. These things are supposed to be in place, so we should get that done. And as long as we got things like this, we don't get a clear understanding. A lot of times people say they call here and they never get an answer to the people that they call and look for answers that should have the answer for them. So I understand this young lady wants an answer, so I'll do my best to find out. But you should hold all of us accountable, because all of us got our seats by votes. So we got to really make sure that when they come around the next time asking for your vote, you can remind them of times that you came for help and you didn't get it. Think of that. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Third Ward Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the citizens for coming out and hearing us. If we don't pay attention to what we're doing, the long-term effect of it, and that's what I see that's happening. I mean, for us to vote just less than a year ago to ban flavored tobacco because somebody did the research and found that it was had a negative effect, and we banned it. And less than a year later, we say, no, we forgot all about that banning and what information was given to us, and open up another tobacco shop. I mean, I just can't get a whiff of it. I go to spinning around and around when we do things like that, because it's not making sense to me. We're not thinking out the box. Everybody else is thinking global warming, other things, innovative avenues for energy, and we're approving things that is not reasonable or sensible. Even the language leaves us vague. You can't get anything out of the language other than we approved it, it allowed staff to do something at a later time, and we don't even know what that is going to happen. So I'm totally in agreement with my commissioner, gentlelady here to the left of me, that we as residents are the ones that's gonna have to come out and get an understanding of what's happening here and what we need, and make us do it. Because it's obviously by what we're voting on and that passes through our hands that it's a they project most of the time. And very little information is about our project. So I want to ask this question, and hopefully somebody can answer it. Was there any advertisement or any notification to the general public about Crystal Springs removing their articles? Where was it advertised? I hope somebody can answer my question. Thank you. And citizens, you got to be involved. Thank you again for being here.
Chair recognizes the Second Ward Commissioner Warren.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank you, everyone who has come out. Saturday, we had a cleanup in the Second Ward. We had only 4 people show up. But when I think about when people say one person can make a difference, Saturday comes to mind. We had at least 15 bags of trash. We were there for 2 hours and it was only 4 people. So can you imagine what would happen if we would have had 8 people or 10 people? We cleaned up Ross and Washington Avenue. It was a dumping ground. So I'm praying that no one goes back and redumps there, but it was phenomenal. And that property apparently goes back down to Ox Creek. So it was a huge environmental help. I'm going to ask Dane if he can put the pictures on Facebook, because maybe it will encourage our residents to clean more and to kind of take our neighborhoods back, because I know no one wants to live by trash, and it kind of blights our area. So it was a phenomenal day, and I'm very excited and very proud of that, and can't wait to have more cleanups, and I encourage everyone to get involved in that. Next, this Saturday and now Sunday, we have a community yard sale going on. It's going to be 617 Pipestone, Mayor Hall's property. If you want to come, we still have spaces available. We're asking for a $10 donation. The spaces will be about 8 by 8, so a large space, and we're going to have all kinds of items out there. If you see the flyer, you will see that I have on here food vendors. If you are a food vendor, there is a lot of stipulations with that. So contact me. My information is on the flyer, and I may give you our code enforcement's number so he can explain it. So food vendors is a little bit tricky because there's health department and all of that, but can be done, just has to be done the right way. But again, if you just want to sell something, get rid of old things in your home, come on down. We have about 20 people signed up, so it should be a great time. If you don't have a flyer, I do have one, and there are some downstairs on the wall there. So I would love for you guys to come on out. It's going to be a great day. And finally, I do agree with what people are saying with residents showing up and speaking out. My hope is, if you want to learn, don't listen to anybody. Don't even listen to me. Read for yourself. Do the research. Because that's my biggest fear, is that people hear people talking, but they just take their word for it. Don't take anyone's word for it. Research it on your own, and then form your opinion after you have the accurate information. So yes, please get involved, but please, please, please do the research, because a lot of information that is shared may not even be accurate. So read it for yourself and understand it for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes First Ward Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Just like to thank all the residents for coming out, and for everyone who spoke on tonight, gave comments about their particular issue or things that they had a problem with. Just wanted to make probably probably an obvious observation and comment about living things. Anything that is living is growing, thriving, and flourishing. In fact, the Bible says if it is not, you cut it off. So the city of Benton Harbor and the surrounding communities are growing. Benton Harbor, for the first time in over 100 and some years, we've had the opportunity to fix the infrastructure here. That hadn't been done, I don't know why, but it just had not been done. So we have had the opportunity to be a part of repairing those things. If you take a drive down to New Buffalo or some of those other cities, they are really doing some growing, particularly New Buffalo. You drive down, you think you're in the capital, the marijuana capital. All of the stores and stuff that's driving along there, all of the businesses and restaurants. If you go to Stevensville, the roads are coming in, the new brick facade side highway wall is up. There's all kind of businesses being built. It's growing. If you go into the township, we have new restaurants coming in. We have all of this growth that's happening around us. And so Benton Harbor needs to be, and we want to be, a part of that growth and that flourishing. But that is going to take all of us working together, as Commissioner, Second Ward Commissioner just talked about. They cleaned up and only 4 people showed up. But you'll hear and you'll see people throwing rocks, but don't show up to help and participate in helping make our city a great place to live for everybody. I wouldn't want to live next to a crack house, next to people standing outside, doing all kind of crazy stuff that's happening in the city of Benton Harbor, and living next to lots that have trash upon them. So if our city is going to grow and thrive and flourish, we need every resident, the ones that's not here, the ones that's outside, to actually participate. We voted on a lot of things tonight in regards to our great city. So take a look at the agenda. And as it relates to our role as legislators, our job is not to legislate morality. Our job is not to do that, and neither is the government. We don't legislate morality or what people do in their own lives, and that goes along with businesses. There's businesses that I don't necessarily agree with. I've never smoked marijuana. Yeah, I've never smoked marijuana, but I'm not opposed to growth and industry that supports our community. And we don't get to decide what businesses we like or do not like. People choose to drink, people choose to do all of those things. None of those things sells themselves. People participate in those things. And so if people are going to participate, those are things in businesses that they wanted to participate. Somebody opened that up, and that's what's happening. So we don't get to legislate what kinds of businesses that we morally agree or don't agree with. That's not our role as lawmakers. And we base the decisions off of the information that we see that's coming in. With this world, there's a lot of reading. This is just a little bit of it, but there's a lot of laws and regulations. I don't understand it all, but I on purpose make sure that I am asking the right questions so that I can make the best decisions for the residents of Benton Harbor. And I think everybody who has taken these seats has the same goal and thoughts in mind when they're making the decisions. So it's very unfair for people to say, we're doing this or we're doing that. No, information is based off of, decisions are based off information that the public may not always see. So with that being said, I thank you for coming. We appreciate your comments because that allow us to get better in what we're doing and the decisions that we're making. So thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank you for all your comments. Ms. Love, I hear you. You know, your comments that you had, your presentation, Mr. Whiteford, great presentation. Next week at the Personnel and Finance Committee meeting, we'll be doing our second rounds of a city manager interview. Second round, the 16th. Next 2 weeks, next Wednesday.
No, 2 meetings.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Give us a clear understanding.
The second round interviews,
When? What date?
October 16th.
16th. The 16th of November. The MLK Monument Project. The MLK Monument Project. Anybody walk along Main Street, you'll see a brick wall, granite wall. You know, it's the efforts of the Civic Monument Project group. If you look over there, it's fenced in right now, but the unveiling going to be November 16th. The MLK Monument statue in Ben Harbor. And it's one in St. Joe too. You know, bringing in the unity for both cities and the community. And we have many projects going along. We got the Yarborough Park. We have the bathrooms going up. We're going to dedicate that, I think, in November. I hope Mr. Duncan will be there. It's part of the dedication. We got the work on Broadway and Empire. We got to work on Monroe, May. So we're doing all this infrastructure work is going on continuously to make the city of Ben Harbor a better place to drive, live, and work. And we did vote tonight on the election equipment for the clerk, if they can do a better job of running our elections. And we did vote on trick or treat. You voted on trick or treat tonight, the trick or treat establishing that. Garbage and refuse litter ordinance going to be cleared up. And this is important too, a proclamation declaring November as the Family Court Awareness Month. So that's a good thing. The initial parks plan too, that's important. All this is important information, and I just want to thank you for coming out again and just being a part of this, the growth of Benton Harbor. And I'm not going to speak on the Detroit Lions tonight. Thank you. God bless you. Expect great things.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
I was going to start saying this has been a long time coming. I guess a change is going to come. Next week, right? Detroit Lions. I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but all right. Thank everybody for coming out, all the Lions fans. And if you cannot see what's going on in Benton Harbor, there is some ophthalmologists that are out there who can help you focus a little bit better. Our streets and roads have never been better than they are right now. Matter of fact, now, thanks to the Reverend, we got water lines replaced all throughout the house, from the street corner, from the inner city, no lead in the lines, nothing. And yet, nobody ever says, thank you. Getting houses rehab for free. People who could not afford it, afford rehabilitation, and they getting their houses repaired for free. Nobody ever says, thank you. You know, I was in Denver, then went from Denver to Atlanta, went from Atlanta to Washington, D.C. I've been working for 25 years on the same job. So I did travel. And everywhere I seen, it was development. Washington is no longer Chocolate City, but it's being developed. Denver's being developed. Everywhere you look is being developed. Benton Harbor is being developed. And to say we put a brand new parking lot right downtown, dug it up from street to building, and we're supposed to give it up for free. Brand new pavement, brand new lines and everything. We got to maintain it. We got to get the snow off of it. We got to keep it maintained, all for free. And hundreds of people use the parking lot a day for free. Why does Benton Harbor have to be the only place that everybody want to do something for free? We'll go to anywhere else and pay. But it seems like robbery when we come to Benton Harbor and have to give something to Benton Harbor. Again, I agree with my fellow constituents. Read. That's the biggest problem. If you want to hide something from people, just put it on paper. Because I can agree with what I hear, but if it's not factual, then I'm agreeing with misinformation. And, you know, there's an old statement that I used to use, and I quit using it on the old guy. But if you quit lying on me, I quit telling the truth on you. It's just a true fact. There's a quote, and I'm going to finish with this. It says, work hard to discover your gift, and you'll never envy or hate another human being who is manifesting theirs. If we work hard to discover our own gifts, if we come together, we're better than being separated. But there's so many puppet masters that give us misinformation that we don't know that is misinformation, and then we regurgitate stuff that we think is true. And we have a whole full-fledged attorney that'll tell you it's not true, and we still agree with a lie. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your participation. More city residents need to come out. More people need to come down. But let God be true. Let the truth be true, and not spew out lies. Thank you.
Just like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Just to speak on well, first of all, the plan for Hall Park, $1 million grant, the Spark grant from the state of Michigan by way of Washington, D.C., the American Rescue Plan Act. Hall Park will begin phase 1 of the renovations where it will actually be safe. It'll be in compliance. It won't be totally, because it's 3 phases, but the $1 million is a good start. As far as the quote-unquote cigar lounge, it's a proposal. It'll be on Water Street, but just like any other business, they have to go through all of the procedures. They have to work with our city administration, and everything that the business does will be regulated. The city of Benton Harbor does not authorize liquor licenses. That's done by the state of Michigan. So they will still have to apply for that licensing, not from the city, but from the state. The city of Benton Harbor is just allowing, based upon our zoning, for people who want to go into business have the opportunity to do so. But it's clear in the resolution where it discusses, this is based upon personal preference. Just as someone may want to go to cannabis, they may want to go to play numbers at May Street. They may want to buy a pack of cigarettes and smoke them outside. We don't regulate that. So we just have to make sure that it's done in decency and in order, and that it's not violating any laws. We've been hearing the D word tonight, development. The city of Benton Harbor will never be as it was. Never. Benton Harbor area schools is not what it was. Where we had 2,500 students, 3,000 students, 2-3 junior highs, 1,600 students at the high school. That's not what it is today. What we have to do is try and reinvent, envision, and maintain what we have. Next year, the city of St. Joe, who would have thought it, will have parking meters downtown. Nobody is coming out against that. But if you look at our lots, we need lines, we need pavement. I mean, they need to be upgraded, they need to be improved, you know, so it costs money. And I'll just end on this note. You know, what do they say? Romance without finance is a nuisance. We need money to run a city. And not through robbery, but through legal means to move the city forward. So with that being said, I'd like to, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is it support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Warren. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin? Yes. Commissioner Henderson? Yes. Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion carried.